Hello, everyone. Welcome to this is day 5 for our Blackout week, where we are teaching on how to budget, debt. We've already had both versions of life insurance, which was awesome. So I am now talking about the basics of credit. So credit is very important when it comes to getting a house, getting a car. I would prefer people to buy cars with cash, but I know it's not always that easy. And sometimes we run into situations that may be a little tough. So sometimes we do have to utilize credit. So, what is a credit score? A credit score is a numerical expression based on a level analysis of a person's credit file to represent the credit worthiness of an individual. A credit score is primarily based on a credit report, information typically sourced from credit bureaus. So we have two different kinds of credit scores. I think most people focus on FICO because it's used more than Vantage Score credit score. But a Vantage Score is a consumer credit scoring model created through a joint venture of the three major credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. The model is managed and maintained by an independent company, Vantage Score Solutions LLC, that was formed in 2006 and is jointly owned by the three credit bureaus. Vantage credit scores, their model competes with the credit scoring model produced by Fair Isaac Corp or FICO. Like the models developed by FICO, Vantage Score models operate on data stored in the consumer credit files maintained by three national credit bureaus. Vantage Score models and FICO models use statistical analysis on those data to predict the likelihood a consumer will default on a loan. Vantage Score and FICO models represent risk of loan default in the form of three-digit scores, with higher scores indicating lower risk. Vantage Score and FICO use different proprietary and analytical methods, and scores from one system cannot be translated into one from the other. So VantageScore Breakdown, what is included in this? So recent credit is 30%, payment history is 28%, credit utilization is 23%, credit balances is 9%, available credit is 1%, and depth of credit is 9%. So Vantage scores go from 300 to 850. It did go from 501 to 990, but they changed it. I think it's to be more competitive with the FICO score. So A is 781 to 850, B 720 to 780, C 658 to 719, D 601 to 657, F is 300 to 600. So a FICO score is a type of credit score created by the Fair Isaac Corporation. Lenders use borrowers' FICO scores along with other details on borrowers' credit reports to assess credit risk and determine whether to extend credit. FICO scores take into account various factors in 5 areas to determine credit worthiness: payment history, current level of indebtedness, types of credit used, length of credit history, and new accounts. More banks and lenders use FICOs to make credit decisions than any other scoring or reporting model. Although borrowers can explain negative items in their credit report, the fact remains that having a low FICO score is a deal breaker with numerous lenders. Many lenders, particularly in the mortgage industry, maintain hard and fast FICO minimums for approvals. 1 point below this threshold results in a denial. Therefore, a strong argument exists that borrowers should prioritize FICO above all bureaus when trying to build or improve credit. Keeping a high FICO score requires having a mix of credit accounts and maintaining an excellent payment history. Borrowers should also show restraint by keeping their credit card balances well below their limits. Most people say 30%, utilize under 30% of your credit cards, which is best. Maxing out credit cards, paying late fees, and applying for new credit haphazardly are all things that lower your FICO score. So for FICO scoring, 35% is payment history, 30% is amounts owed, 15% is length of credit, 10% is new credit, and 10% is types of credit used. So for FICO, is excellent is 700 to 850, good 680 to 699, fair 620 to 679, poor 580 to 619, and bad is 500 to 579. Vantage scores and FICO scores and FICOs are developers of competing credit scoring models. FICO, the original creator of the FICO score, was not involved with the creation of Vantage Score's formula. Vantage Score, FICO, and the credit bureaus have allowed the public to know some information about the credit score categories and the corresponding calculation weights. FICO allows consumers to get their generic or classic FICO scores for Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax through My FICO website. Consumers can get their Vantage scores from free credit report websites, and TransUnion and Experian offer Vantage scores to consumers for a fee through their websites. Credit Karma uses Vantage credit scores, so if you use them, it's not your FICO score they're showing, it's your Vantage score they're showing. In contrast with FICO's credit scoring model, which are custom built for each of the 3 national credit bureaus to accommodate structural differences in the bureau's database. Excuse me. Sorry. The VantageScore model designs allows a single model to operate on all 3 bureaus' data. VantageScore solutions hold several patents on processing that ensure pieces of data within each bureau's consumer database will be treated identically, regardless of difference in database structure. These methods eliminate much, but not all, discrepancies in VantageScore scores obtained at the same time from different credit bureaus. Some variation is unavoidable because factors such as timing of lenders' payment information reports can mean the content of a given consumer credit file will differ somewhat at each of the 3 credit bureaus. So your Vantage score versus your FICO score. So payment history for Vantage score is 30%. It is 35%. For FICO, balances for Vantage is 9%. Credit history is 15%. Recent credit, miscellaneous factors. So you see like the utilization and everything is different. So they do kind of score some things differently, but you can see how compared together, like what you will be looking at. So Vantage scores versus FICO scores. These are the numbers they use. As you see, they're close, but they're a little off from what we would consider the number. So exceptional is 8 to 850 with FICO. Excellent is 750 to 850 with Vantage score. So you can kind of see how they compare with one another. You are able to get a free credit score 3 times a year through annualcreditreport.com. It's no charge. I would suggest that you pull it at 3 different times during the year. Don't pull it all at once, especially if you're working on your credit. So then you can get your one free report to see what you need to work on getting things removed that shouldn't be there, paying off stuff, and you can, again, see where you're at. And then probably 4 months in, get another one and see where your credit is then. And at the end of the year, well, a little bit before the end of the year, you should pull it again so you can kind of see where you're at. That way you won't use all 3 of them at once. If you have any questions, you can email me at moygusto@hotmail.com. I am Michelle Turner on Facebook, so you can send me a message there. And Planner Girl Show on Instagram, you can send me a message there. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Thank you for watching these videos, and I hope they're very helpful to you and your family.